your attention, please. It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Wait, I forgot what I was saying. I'm sorry, hold on. Oh, okay.
All right, so when we left off, our deep moment got undeepened.
Yeah, I sure did.
We're going to re-deep this.
Do you want to put that as part one, and then this when we come back again, part two?
That'll work.
Oh, yeah, okay, I was talking about... So I've been told that 3 times in my life.
The what?
I had been told that 3 times in my life.
Yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
All right, ready for this? Let's finish this off.
Oh, you're still recording? Oh.
Girl!
I said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay.
But like how she stopped?
Yeah.
So we thought that you stopped.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay, well,
Just cut that.
just cut that bit.
We like your jacket. We're gonna go ahead and keep that.
We're all confused.
Well, like I was saying, that has happened to me 3 times in my life, and recently, actually, at a job interview. So I had a job interview because I'm still waiting on my permanent position with Kaiser. So God willing, very, very, very soon.
It'll be coming. Come on, Kaiser.
After that strike,
Let's go.
y'all gotta make up your mind. Come on. But yeah, so I had a job interview for the Boys and Girls Club in the meantime, and I was recommended from one of my co-workers at Kaiser because her husband is in charge of the hiring process there at the Boys and Girls Club.
Cool.
So he's the one who gave me my interview, and immediately he was like, "So how are you?" And I was like, "Well, I'm good. You know, my name, blah blah blah." I was very nervous, but at the same time, I wasn't. It was so weird. I was very comfortable, calm. So he asked me a few questions like, "What is your greatest strength?" And I told him that I love to serve. So I'm always open to help in any way, shape, or form.
Amen. Amen.
And then he asked me what was. He asked me.
Blue disagrees.
Why do you disagree, Johnny?
Because whenever we start picking up stuff, you start running away.
That's a lie.
She was like, I like to serve, but I don't like to clean. Just don't like to
I love to serve, but I don't like to cook.
Oh, there we go.
But I'll serve you your plate of food because that's serving.
She'll burn your chicken.
That's another story for another day. Anyway.
We're going to come back to that story eventually, people. We will.
Eventually, when my mom comes on. She'll literally roast me. Okay, so like I was saying, he asked me what is your greatest weakness? And I was like, ooh. And I had been talking to a few people and they told me you don't know how to say no. And I was
Really?
like, yeah, they said I don't know how to say no. Because I'm always doing things for others or helping with others. You can't say no. And I was like, oh. So I told him, I was like, well, I've been told I can't say no. And I was like, and I do say no. But maybe they don't see it. I don't know. But I said that. And right off the bat, he cut me off mid-sentence. And he goes, I'm so sorry. This is going to come off so weird. But he's like, but I'm a pastor. And I was like, oh. And he was like, and you just, you reflect God.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, thanks. He's like, you literally, you shine God. He's like, I can see God in you. And I was like,
Shine.
whoa. And I was like, really? What? He's like, yeah. You made such a good first impression. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, I need to bring this girl into my youth department, with my youth.
Yeah,
Have her
yeah.
give, a little lecture.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa. He's like, I want you to come in and, mentor my ushers and my deacons so they know how to greet people at the door. Because I want them to show you, what you did, I want them to do for other people that come to my church.
You should just invite them to watch the podcast. All right. We'll give them
If
some
you're
tips
out
right
there.
from here.
She's like, no.
If you're out there. Hey, he's going to be my boss.
Oh, well, I'll tell them, go ahead and bring
Can you
people on.
recommend me for a job? I need a job, guys.
I told him, too.
Go to Kaiser.
Tanya got an interview, too, and Tanya...
No, it's because how she was saying, it's just that how the way you walk,
Yeah.
it shows a lot how the person, who you are and all that. With me in general, you guys see me when I greet people, I always smile.
Yeah.
I always smile. It's just, I don't like people seeing me. If I'm going through things, I don't want people thinking oh, look at him and all that. He's going through things and all of a sudden, he doesn't want to. No, I can go through things. When I was sick, when I got sick, I didn't care. People would literally come and see me. The one person that did affect me a lot And I kid you not, it hurt me a lot when they came in. It was Lamana, Kathy, and Gary. When they came in on Mother's Day. They came in that Sunday of Mother's Day that they did the whole service and everything. My brother and my dad had just left because they had the second service. Yeah. So when they walked in, like, La Hermana Kathy was like, she couldn't believe it. La Hermana Kathy was like, no, mijo, like, this can't happen to you. And it got me. And when they walked in, I just smiled. I was like, Gary. Because that's how I greet. That's how I greet Gary. I was like, Gary. So like, hey, what's up, Johnny? And like all that, I was like, Gary. Like all because they had to put morphine in me. So like they had just like try to knock me out. So I'm like this, and I'm like, yep. Gary. And with a smile, and he told me, he's all like, man, Johnny, you're always with a smile and all that. I'm like, and like I didn't say anything because I was half knocked out and all that.
Oh man, that morphine. Yeah.
And La Hermana Kathy was all like, she was crying. She was like, Nico, like, whoa, no, this can't. And my mom was like, people got to go through things and all that. I'm like, and that's one thing that like that I've always said, like, and how I said my grandma when she got sick, like, she'll be happy no matter what and all that. And like I've learned in many other ways from other people that you got to be thankful to God. Yeah. If you're still alive, thank God. Yeah. Because not many people wake up today or tomorrow or probably in a few hours from now, they probably like, oh, I'm gonna go take a nap and all that. Like, and they don't wake up. Remember that what I told you about that one guy? If you guys don't know, me and Ben are wrestling fanatics over here. We are. Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah.
How
like,
annoying.
Just how Melissa's a football fanatic over here. She just likes what's that guy's name?
Nick Bosa.
Yeah, Bosa. Oh, and from those Bosa Mosa or what? I don't know. It's that from those guys from TikTok.
Gross. I don't like
those girls. Hashtag Nick Bosa on here. Yeah. I'm going to add that up. Okay.
So like how I told you, like that guy just passed away in his sleep. That guy, like, we don't know. We don't know how much time we have left. Yep. But we have to take advantage of every day that we have and all that. Like those negative influences, leave them outside of the door. Yeah. Like let that out.
I found that you have a lot of positive influences in positive places, you know, negative influences in negative places. You know, you hang out at bars where there's drugs, alcohol going. Guess what you're going to find there, you know? Yeah. And you hang out there too long, don't be surprised.
And I think it also has a lot to do with like your insecurities. Like yourself, you're not secure or confident in what you are and who you are. And I found a quote that says, confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. Ooh. So don't worry about like literally confidence. That's a good one.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to screenshot that and send that to me.
Can you send that to us?
Go ahead and send that to us. Go ahead now.
Oh, I'll send it right now.
Go ahead, yes.
It says confidence is not, they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be okay if they don't.
It's like that. That's fire right there. That one other saying that it goes like, faith is not something. It was talking about faith. Faith is not God. Like why? It's God. I know you're in control. There you go. Something like that. I forgot how the thing went exactly and all that, but it's just the same thing. Like your confidence, your faith. Like if you have confidence in yourself, you're like, you know what?
You don't need to participate in this.
You don't need those things to be happy.
Exactly. Right.
But the same thing with faith. If you're going through things, you have that faith in Jesus Christ that you know what? He's going to help me through this. Yeah. All my things are to him. All my problems I give to him. Mm-hmm. And it's just like that. Like we don't need these drugs, alcohol and all that. And literally today we're in my psychology class, we're talking about that. We're talking about drugs and all that, like what the different types of drugs. Like there's opiates, depressants, stimulants, hallucination drugs, and then marijuana. That's one of them as well. Mm-hmm. And literally, like the guy that's next to me, he's like, I'm 11 years clean, and all that. And he's a drug and alcohol counselor. Mm-hmm. So he was all like, he told me, he's all like, your perspective of how you see things, those like people with drugs and all that, like. And the thing is that the professor asked before him asking that, he was all like, how many have you done like drugs before? And everyone raised their hand. And how many who have not done drugs? And I raised my hand.
Yeah.
I was the only one in that, or like who hadn't done drugs, drinking, none of that. Like I was the only one that raised my hand that didn't do it.
Wow.
And like everyone like was surprised. Like you've never, and the professor was like, you've never done drugs? You've never done, like, nope.
Never have.
Like never have, and I think I would never.
Why is that always surprising? You know what I mean? Because
because of the perspective of what everyone has today of this generation.
Yeah.
That as soon as like they hit high school, they want to start doing. They want to go parties, drink, do drugs, and all that. So literally, it was that with me. Like today, he asked, like, how many of you done that today? Like he asked, how many of you guys done drinking and all that? And everyone answered. How many have never drank before, never done drugs? And I raised my hand. And one specific person, she's all like, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel good. And
I'm content with life.
How did you live without drugs?
Yeah, literally. And I kid you not, like her reaction, her face, I'm like, how? And I told them my story, and I told them like,
are you real?
Yeah, literally, like they were all surprised, and I told them like, it's just because with me, guys, like I grew up in a Christian household, so I was, I won't say it like this that I was taught differently. I was just like, that's the way that I was taught, that drugs are bad and all that and blah blah blah.
And the fact that you stood by it.
Yeah.
And I told him how he said, like, I don't mind anymore if people know who I am.
Yeah.
Like, I probably won't even see those people, like, in the next 4 years that I'm in school. I'll probably see them walk around, but, like, in the same class, I probably won't see them. But literally, like, they were all looking at me like, you're weird. Like that. I'm like, okay.
You're like, no, I'm different because the Lord has made me different.
And I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay of being
How dare you not be
weird.
addicted to something?
How dare you, Johnny?
Like,
Johnny.
Literally, they were
dare
like, you're not. And the guy next to me, that's the counselor, that's 11 years clean. He's all like, how do you do it? Like, how would you like? And he told me like, I know your dad's a pastor and all that, but like, your generation. And he told me like, because he asked me how old I was in the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm 21. And he brought that back. He's all like, so you're 21 years, like basically he said from like you being 16 until here. So that's what, 5 years, almost 6 years, because I'm turning 22 now. And he's all like, you've never done anything. You've never wanted to try anything. Like, no. Like, there's been times that my friends have offered me.
Yeah.
But I've never wanted to try something. Why?
Incredible.
Because I don't find the happiness with those
Exactly.
things.
You don't see it. Like,
You don't see the
necessary.
It's not
I'm
necessary
like,
to
you
lose
might be
your own
happy with
control.
it.
You know.
You might be happy with it, but I found my happiness, and my happiness is with God. I find happiness with music, preaching, and
Pure
everything.
joy.
And all that. Like that's for me happiness. For you, happiness, it could be a whole different thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, for you, happiness can be money, but like with me, if I don't have money, I'm still happy because I have God with me.
Yeah.
You might be with a bunch of health. I might be dying in the hospital, but I am still happy because I have God with me.
There you go.
So like literally, I told him that like, it's because there's different definitions of happiness. For you guys, it's one. But me, that I grew up in a different environment, a different way of like living, I'm like, that's why it's different for me. And he told me, he's all like, do you go to church local here? I'm like, no. I live in Palmdale. My church is in Palmdale, Lancaster. He's like, oh, it's because my wife wanted to start going to church. And like, I told him, like, she was like, well, I don't know about if there's anyone that goes to church. And literally, he's like, I remember that you said that you go to church and all that your parents are pastors and all that. He's like, it might be God telling me to go to you, or he probably put me in this class with you. And then, like, because he said that he was going to take an online class. He was going to take that same class, but online. But then he took it in person. I was like, you never know. God works in different ways, in many ways.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe he did put you in the same class with me to not just for your wife, but for you also. I'm like, you're going 11 years clean.
Yeah.
And like, you should thank God for that and all that. But like, there's still some things we got to work on.
Yeah.
Like, tanto with like language, like the way that someone talks, like cursing and all the swearing and all that. I'm like, or even like, smoking and all that. Like, probably you're 11 years clean of like drugs and all that, but you still like. And I told him, do you like you might drink? I don't know. Like, I told him, I'm like, don't think that I'm assuming these things, but I told him like, maybe you might drink or you might smoke and none of that. And I'm like, but I thank God that that God put me here with you.
Yeah.
Put me here with you, and that that you want, that your wife wants to make that decision to grow more spiritually.
Yeah.
And I told him like I'll get information because he said like to make the drive down because the school's in Santa Clarita, Valencia.
Oh
pues.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like to make the drive down there. I was like, I'll see if there's churches around here that are still part of the same like Church of God and todo. I'll check it with my dad and all that. I'll check and I told him like we have our own website of like the churches around us and all that. So I'll check that out and I'll
Or
give
you can watch us on MTV.
and I told him like, but if you want, like we have a podcast and we have a YouTube channel, and he took a picture of it.
Oh, nice.
And he sent it to his wife. He's all like, oh, this like, and literally if he watches this, like his name is Chris.
Glory to God for
Like,
Chris.
I'm like, so Chris,
God
if you're
bless you,
watching
Chris.
this, like, yeah.
This is for you.
Yeah, so like if you watch this, Chris, like we know like you have 3 people here praying for your family,
You know it.
and all that. Like how he said, I barely knew him this semester, this past couple weeks, month that we've been in school, and like the way that he expresses himself, the teacher, the professor also told him like I appreciate you always like sharing your stories of like the different drugs that you took and all that, and he's okay with it.
Yeah,
he's okay with it, and the way that he explains himself and all that he says, like I didn't like it or I tried it and all that. So he gives his own experiences of what he went through and all that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But how he said, like he told me today, he's all like, I don't know, like maybe God put me in this room with you and all that. I'm like, I don't know, maybe you were gonna take that online class or something, but you decided to take it in person.
Yeah.
And look where we're getting to now. Like you're over here, like wanting to make a difference, not just your wife, but I feel you want to make a difference in your life too.
Yeah.
And then like we just kept on talking, and then we went to the class session that we were in. We were just talking in the back. Because I'm the type of person that sits in the back. I don't like sitting in the front. I sit in the back.
Yeah.
But I still learn a lot.
I've noticed that from Johnny.
Yeah, I sit in the back. I had a class with her, and like, I'll sit in the back. She's like, are we going to sit in the front? I'm like, no, I'm sitting all the way in the back.
I'm like, you can't do that.
And like, that's me. I'll just sit in the back. I don't like sitting in the front. I just don't like people watching. I don't like the people behind me watching my head. I'm
Bruh.
like, nah, I'll sit in
That's
the
why I
back.
sit in the front at church, because I feel like the times that I have sat in the back, I get so distracted.
That's me.
And I'm
I
like-
get distracted.
Like with me, if you guys see, like I tend to move a lot when I'm sitting in the front because I just don't like people looking at my head.
You're annoying.
Like and all that, I'm like,
Why?
Bro, stop.
What are you so insecure about your?
no, it's nothing. It's just I just don't like people looking at my head.
I was like, I have a flat head and I don't care about.
Like I have like on my like back then it used to bug me.
Yeah.
Like I would always go like this.
Johnny.
Wow, Johnny.
I kid you not. But because you know when someone cuts your hair, like they have
Oh,
like
you get irritated.
Oh yeah.
not irritated, but you have
Get
the
bumps, razor bumps.
Yeah, there we go, the razor bumps.
true. Okay.
So like they look like pimples, but they're not pimples, but they're just razor bumps and all that. So literally like when my sister first started, like she would cut my hair and I had a bunch of those and I'd be like this during service.
Like he's in the theater with the screen.
You know,
I'm like
you're in the
this.
front row.
I'm like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then, or I would get up and walk away. I would walk to the back and all that, or find a way. But then I'm like, you know what? The heck?
Who
Razor bumps and
cares?
all. Like, I know
Right.
there's a bunch of people that have a bunch of razor blades, razor bumps too, and all that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
the heck? So like now, how I said, it's not insecure. I just don't like people looking at my head.
I
I
hear
just
that.
don't like it.
Oh my gosh.
So it was
Outside
it was
influences.
funny.
There you go.
It was funny, but how I
Look at
said
that.
like.
I mean, that's that insecurity, keeping you from being close to God, being up that close to that altar, So I'm
I'm
telling you.
always close, guys. I'm here day in, day out, guys.
Yeah.
I have another quote, guys.
Give it to us.
It says, while you can't control someone's negative behavior, you can control how long you participate in it.
That's deep.
Mic drop, guys.
My crop. Yeah. Hold on, wait.
On 3 or after 3?
Don't overly crop.
1, 2,
3. There you go.
let's
All
go.
right. There
That
we
was
go.
better.
Way better.
Let me talk to you.
All right.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
a good one.
It was.
You
You
can
guys
control
are-
how much
yeah.
time. That's what.
can.
See, that's the thing.
Like people, like my dad was saying it the other day. Like you can have money, but money can't buy you time.
True.
You can have. I don't know what other things he was saying, but like he was just going and like he was saying a bunch of things. Like literally at the end, he was like, if you don't have Jesus or you don't have God in your life, you can have money, you can have health and all that, fame and all that. But he always brings up like Robin Williams when he took his life
yeah.
away.
That is insane.
There's Michael Jackson also. what other famous people are there? I think it was Whitney Houston
Yeah.
that took her life away as
And
well.
her daughter died the same way.
Yeah. So like
Crazy.
people have that fame, people have money, people have that, but if you don't have God in your life, man, the one thing that you need out of everything is peace.
Yeah.
If you don't have peace, and that peace comes from Jesus Christ himself.
Amen.
If you don't have God, man, I don't know, like, and that's the thing, like I've told her, I'm like, because like how when we would go to Six Flags, we had our playlist. We would listen to Bruno Mars just because we'll mess around with it.
Right.
Like like the other day, we took out Lucas, my sister, and her family. I went with her to go Universal Studios with Lucas. On our way back, we were driving back. She was driving me back home, and we were listening to Bruno Mars. And I was just screaming out my lungs because that's what we do. Like when we go, like we won't even sing on tone, but we'll just sing it. Like I'll catch you, connect. Like that, we'll just mess around like
And
that.
Johnny will sing to random strangers in the car next to him.
Yeah. How I said it's just
Having fun.
like I'll
Yeah.
have fun with people, and then when we would take Benji, we love you. We watch this, Benji, we love you. Benji,
Been a while,
Soyla,
man. It's been a
Camila,
while.
George, we
Yeah.
love you guys.
Yes, we do.
So Benji would be like dancing. Melissa has videos of Benji dancing
Literally,
and all
it's
that.
so funny.
I'm like, bro, where'd you learn? I was like, I don't know, bro.
And
I'm like-
we know very well where you learned it from. And that was school.
Back
From
then-
negative influences
Negative influences.
at school.
Back then, TikTok used to be Vine, so we learned it from Vine.
Vine.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah,
That's
but
right. Yeah.
literally, like we would listen to that on our way over there, and I told her like, and we were talking with my brother as well. I'm like, bro, just imagine like Bruno Mars, like the voice that he has.
Yeah,
Imagine
we
him
would
being
always talk
a
about that.
Christian singer. And all that, and there's like now you can hear like if you put like in an AI machine, you put like Bruno Mars singing like this Christian song, and you can see like you can hear like, dude, imagine this guy would actually be Christian.
Wow.
Or like these other people like that have an amazing voice like Charlie Puth, and all those people that are not Christian, Shawn Mendes, Adele, those people that don't have God and all that, but like if they would have given their life to God, we know that
Yeah.
Katy Perry, she comes from family that her parents are pastors. The Jonas Brothers, that their parents are pastors.
Yeah.
I'm like, and who's Katy Perry? Who are the Jonas Brothers?
Yeah.
People that are famous, and like imagine they would have stick to that. Like where, how much? Like maybe they might say like, oh, they might have not gone anywhere they are today, but yet we don't know that. We don't know what like we see how people grew. There's like Christian people now. Chris Tomlin from nothing, where he is now, one of the most recognized musicians. Michael W. Smith, most recognized singers in the Christian genre, and like Hispanic genre as well. Like people, like we always say that, well, like Miel San Marcos, they grew up. They started playing at funerals.
Yeah.
Like if you hear their testimony, they grew up in like playing funerals. They grew up and look where they are now. And then the testimony of the main singer Josh, he gives his testimony. He had bad influences, and he left the church. He left everything because he wanted to go be with his friends and all that. But then he says that the day that he came back, like he was afraid. He said, I was afraid because I didn't know. His dad received him, just like how the prodigal son, how he came back. His dad received him with open arms. That's how God wants us today.
Yeah.
That's how God is, and He's
like
just
he's not
waiting for you.
gonna condemn you and none of that. Like he's not like you're coming back, and he's gonna receive you with open arms.
I think it's more happy when we do come back. You know what I mean?
Because
you broke free from that
One,
negative
it's
influence.
easy, and
Yeah.
if we said it, it's easy to leave, and it's always harder to come back.
It is.
Yeah.
It's always hard because like and how you said it last time that when we're not in church, the enemy is like more powerful against us.
Yep.
But like when we're in church, the enemy like tries to attack us, but like nah, like we have
Got my God, yes.
have people on their knees, my mom and my dad on their knees praying for me
Yeah.
and all that, and they came back, and we see that in a bunch of other places that people have come back because their parents or their own church as well. I saw this one pastor, he said he was looking at, there was a guy all the way in the back in the back of the church and all that, and he was crying, like eyes bawling out and everything, and he left church because of bad influences, because he wanted to go chase a girl and drugs and all that. So he left church and he came back, that it was a service. He went, he started crying. He went to the altar, started crying. And one of the pastors went up to him. And the preacher was confused. He was all like, he told one of the pastors, like, hey, why, like, who is this guy? He's all like, and he told him, hermano, I forgot the brother's name. He's like, brother, he used to be he used to be the leader of the youth here, the youth pastor at our church. Era uno de los, and he says like, they uno de los más ungidos and all that, like one of the most anointed people and all that. I was like, but he did this of bad influences, and like everything went away. And he's all like, but who's the guy next to him that's crying? And all that is like, that's the pastor of this whole like the whole association of pastors. And he's all like, and that pastor right there, that's the guy that he's crying with, is his son. He hasn't seen his son in 5 years.
Wow.
And like literally, like it got me so much to the point I'm like, he hasn't seen his son in 5 years. His son left. He could have, like, when he came back, why'd you do that? And like all that. But he went to him crying, received him, and with open arms, and saying like, he came back.
Yeah.
And that's what I think in general, like the families, and I'll say this in Spanish to the hermanos that can understand me, los que están allí, que quizás su hijo no está sirviendo a Dios ya o algo, usted está ahí clamando, no pare de clamar, porque Dios va a hacer la obra, Dios va a hacer eso. Y yo les digo que cuando sus hijos regresen a la casa de Dios, no los regañe y nada de eso, no. Abre sus manos, abre con brazos abiertos. Y como el papá del hijo pródigo, que hizo una fiesta, tendremos que hacer una fiesta. We have to have that joy, con gozo, celebrar esa victoria, porque estaba en el mundo, pero ahora regresó. He was in the world, but now he's back where he belongs. And I think now what we can say, like, we all belong here. Like we've said it, the youth of this generation don't belong to the enemy.
No.
They belong to Jesus Christ. And I say that to every one of you guys here, and like to the people behind the cameras, to Jackie and to Andrew, that here, Jocelyn, that was here as well. Like, we got to stand up, man. If there's something that I love to do so much, and I found this out recently, is working with the youth. And I'll say this, and probably I'm not supposed to say this and all that, but the beginning of this year, we had our meeting. I was gonna quit, and she was too.
We both were. We were.
And also, Sister Karen was too. So Palmdale was gonna be without a leadership. We were deciding to quit and all
again, sorry, we're youth.
Yeah.
We have our own struggles.
Right.
And it was hard for us to get to that mentality where like, hey, let's do this another year. We're like, no.
We wanted to just literally we had the meeting to make the program for the year. But literally I was all like, guys, I need to tell you guys something.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and we made the program. And we went out to, I think, Walmart and then Starbucks or something. I was like, guys, I need to tell you guys something. This meeting, guys, I kid you not. And I told them, like, and I'm sorry that I told them, let's say this, like, I swear to you guys, and I swear to God, and God is like here, and I was gonna quit this ministry because there was a bunch of things going on in my life.
Yeah.
Like in that sense, like how I said, like, and I'm not embarrassed to share it anymore. Like, I did bad in school. I did really horrible in school. Everything was not going my way. I had to start fresh at a different school and all that, and that's what I'm doing now. Like, it's never too late to start again. So I told them, guys, I wanted to quit. But when I saw the things that we had in mind, and when I saw that there's other youth outside that I don't want to say need me, but need someone that can listen to them. And all that, I'm like, probably they won't open up to their parents, but like, I have me. Like, they have me to go up to me, talk to me and all that. So literally, like, I tell you guys, if you guys always know that if you guys don't want to say anything to your parents, you have 3 people here with us.
We're here for you.
Like, if there's something that we've learned is like, we are not going to judge you. And I think we can say that in general. We cannot judge anyone. We can't judge someone's like, oh, no, you did this bad, I'm going to go to a pastor and all. Like, no. Help them out. And I tell you, everyone, like the leaders, and we said this in, I think it was like the first episode or second episode when Angie was here, don't criticize them, but go and help them. Because that's what a lot of youth come to this church, like, oh, I came from this and like I did this and all these bad stuff. But no, what do the people from church, and I'm not speaking of this church, but in general, church in general, they're like, oh, he's a sinner. But yet he came back. He's here because he wants to fix up his life.
He wants a new beginning.
So he wants a new beginning, and all how God says, the Bible says, like when we're with God, all things are created new. We are a new creation in Jesus Christ. So we need to understand that, like, if that person is coming back to church or coming to church for a new beginning, don't criticize him.
Yeah.
Because maybe you were in a worse situation than he was, but look at you now. You can help that person to become the person maybe even 10 times better than what you can be. So literally, like, there's things that for the youth, man, these negative influences, they don't compare to anything of what God can give to you.
Anything that you're gonna benefit from at all.
And I like how that point you were making, you know, you're saying, don't give them the "I told you so." I knew you'd be back. You know what I mean? Because it makes it sound like this is a punishment. You know, it should be welcome back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like with open arms.
Right.
How Jocelyn was telling us, she's all like, my mom was like, she said that when we were watching the video, she was all like, I told my mom that I wasn't gonna go in church clothes and none of that. I was gonna go in jeans.
Yeah.
And the hermana was like, okay. Why? Because la hermana knew and she had faith that she was going to come back. And who is Jocelyn to us now?
Oh, man.
Jocelyn is like a huge help.
Everything.
Like we've said, Jocelyn is like a person that we love.
value her so much.
That like, basically, I'll say it like this: she's the girl version of Raulito.
Yeah.
And like in the sense like
Gosh.
I'll say it like that
Yeah.
because there's
It's
no
true.
other way to
It's
say
true.
it.
There's a lot
Like
of stuff.
Raulito, like the way that Raulito works in church, like he's all over the place. We're like, Jocelyn is always with the youth, always having fun. If someone's down, she'll make you laugh in an instant, man.
Yeah.
Like, I remember how he said it when we were talking about it before we started recording. When Pastor Villarreal had passed away, she went to my house with her mom, and she was all like, and how he said, we like, oh, homie. And like, homie, it's fine and all that. And like, she started making me laugh and all that. So like, when I most needed someone, because my parents weren't here at the time, my parents were with my brother when that whole situation happened, and there was no one. Yeah. And I was all like, oh man, like, how am I gonna get through the night and all that? And she came. She was at a meeting, I think, with the ushers, and she came with her mom. And they were talking with me. I ended up going to her house to stay because I didn't want to stay in my house alone. Yeah. Especially like knowing that in the room downstairs is where he would sleep every Monday and all that. And like literally, like how I said, like Jocelyn has been a huge help, not just for this church, but for me. I can say for me personally, I think she can say it as for her personally as well.
Yeah.
I think for
she's
people,
definitely a help here with our department.
So literally, what we can say is that she came back, but no one told her, "I told you so."
Right.
Her mom didn't say, "I told you so." I knew it. Her mom said, "If that's how you want to go, go." Yeah. Her mom had faith, and that's the thing that we all need to have. That are los hermanos, like the parents. They need to have faith. Yeah. If their kid is doing things outside, have faith, they're gonna come back. Because how Jocelyn said, like, she's the promise. You guys have a promise. Maybe some families weren't supposed to have kids, and they have kids, and then they left church. Those kids left church. I'm like, that's your miracle right there. You need to be back where you started. Yeah. And they'll come back one way or another. They will come back.
They will.
Amen.
And we've said it so many times that God is the one that's going to finish everything, has the last word over everything.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, this has been an incredibly deep episode here. We can go on and on about this, and we will have other topics that are going to be similar to this.
Yeah.
And man, negative influence. As we were going through this, huh? You have another one? Oh.
I wanted to see if we wanted to end off with another quote, but go ahead.
Yeah. Let's go ahead. If you got another one, might as well.
This one ends on a good note.
Let's go for it.
It says, negativity is a very nasty and contagious disease. Remove yourself from all negative people, situations, and things. Choosing to be positive will help you maintain a better attitude, better health, and a better mindset. And I want to add a better relationship with God.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
It says, and this one says, you say versus what God says. And it says, you say I messed up bad. But God says your mistakes don't define you.
Amen.
Of course.
It says,
Amen,
you
amen.
say, I'm always worried and frustrated. God says, cast all your cares onto me.
Yeah.
It says, you say it's impossible, but God says, all things are possible with me.
Amen.
Yeah.
I feel alone, we say. And we say that a lot. I feel alone. And God says, I will never leave you or forsake you. But literally, the last one, he says, I can't forgive myself. And God says, I, himself, forgive you.
So,
Yeah.
I want you to read that part again. It says, cast all your problems onto
It
who?
says, cast all your cares on me. God is speaking here.
You hear that, guys? So, you're not alone when you're in church. You're not alone when you're at home, okay? God is always with you. You can turn to him. Never feel alone. The moment you feel alone, that's when the enemy's going to attack you. You know, you can always turn back to God. Like we said here, we have 3 people praying for you. You've got more people praying for you here.
Yeah.
If you need special prayers, go ahead and send us a message here, okay? Leave a comment. We will pray for you. You can send us a message. We have Facebook, Instagram. We got YouTube, of course.
Facebook.
More Facebook, like I said 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
But we have two of them on Facebook, so any of the two.
Either one.
Any of the two.
Yes,
That's why I said Facebook again. Because
True. We got a Palmdale one, we got a Lancaster one. But
Yeah.
either way, we are here for you. I know you guys are going through a critical moment in your lives. And we want to know it. You got the support. You got support. You know, we can, of course, you know, be as strong as a rock as God is for you. But we can definitely invoke God to help you.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And we're going to continue, you know, doing these episodes for you guys. Keep encouraging you guys. Keep watching. A lot of strong messages coming through. Melly Pink. She's got the hiccups right now, so we're going to go ahead and conclude. Okay, when she starts hiccuping, it's time to conclude,
Please,
okay?
comes back.
So here we go again. Alrighty. We're going to conclude, and I'm going to say, once again, how should we do this?
1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's MDD. Okay.
Yeah.
You got it.
And we'll look at this camera.
Alrighty. You got all of us over on number 4 there? Can you see me?
OMG, OMG, OMG. It's MDD. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, here we go. So I'm
Alrighty.
just going to conclude by saying, OMG.
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 It's MDV.
Bye,
God bless you guys.
God bless.